Hey, third grade, it's Mr. Roney, and we're back here with some word problems. I'm excited. I can tell you are too. We've got three parts to this lesson. First, we're going to practice some skip counting by fours, and we're going to do that in one simple way and one little bit trickier way, just as a challenge for you guys. Second part is we're going to talk about what letters mean when they're in math problems. And third, we're going to practice our read, draw, and write strategy and practice solving a word problem by drawing pictures. So get some pieces of paper and something to write without, and definitely grab a whiteboard because you will need it while we do these problems together. Let's get started. And here for our first step of the lesson, just like yesterday, we're going to practice skip counting by fours, which is an awesome skill because it can help us multiply by fours really fast in our heads. If we can skip count, we can multiply, and that's exactly why we're practicing it. So let's just start by counting the way we usually do when we skip count, okay? So take a look at this middle row of this chart, and I'm going to point to each number, and we're going to say it together, okay? And then we're going to go forwards and backwards. And I know you guys have been working on memorizing these. This is the test to see if you have it memorized. And if you don't have it memorized, just take a look at the chart. That's what it's there for. Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Now we're going to go backwards. 40, 36, 32, 28, 24, 20, 16, 12, 8, and 4. Now, here's the part which I was talking about yesterday that I think is very interesting. So pay attention to this second row now, and notice how each pair of numbers goes together. Okay, so 1 4 is the same thing as 4. 2 4s is the same thing as 8. 3 4s is the same thing as 12, and we can go all the way up our chart and notice that each number on top is the same thing as the number on the bottom, just written a different way. So 10 4s is the same thing as 40, okay? And so when we're skip counting, we can also skip count by saying 1 4, 2 4s, 3 4s, 4 4s, 5 4s, 6 4s, 7 4s, 8 4s, 9 4s, 10 4s, and it's the same thing as counting 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Okay? But here's the tricky part. We can also alternate between those two systems in the same kind of string of numbers. Okay? So let's try to combine these two systems of skip counting and alternate between them. Okay? So we'll start here in this third row, and we'll just go across. 1 4, 8, 3 4s, 16, 5 4s, 24, 7 4s, 32, 9 4s, 40. Does your head hurt yet? It shouldn't. Don't worry too much about this, but I think this is a really interesting way to just test how well we know our fours in our heads, okay? So if this is difficult, that's okay. It's kind of difficult for me too. All we have to do is practice, and we'll get better and better each time. Let's go on to the next part of our lesson and talk about what a letter means in math. And here we are with the second part of our lesson. We're going to talk about letters and unknown numbers. What the heck does it mean in math when we have a letter in the middle of a math problem or the middle of a math equation? All you need to know is that letter basically means a number that we don't know yet, but we would like to find out. So, whether it's an X, a Y, an A, a B, a C, a D, when you see that letter in a math problem, it just means some number that we're trying to figure out, but we don't know yet. Okay, so here's two tape diagrams, and we're going to try to figure out what these letters really stand for. Okay, so in a tape diagram, what's really cool about it is on the top number equals the same thing as all of the other ones combined. So it's a little bit like a number bond. Okay, so in this case, this X means 4. It means 4 4s. So it means 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 It means 4 times 4. All those ways are just different ways of saying the same thing. Okay, so this x equals 4 fours. Now, we were just counting by fours, so we can do the same thing again. 1 4, 2 4s, 3 4s, 4 4s. 4, 8, I can't use my fingers anymore, 12, 16. 4 4s is the same thing as 16. So in this case, our x equals 16. Exactly. So our other one here is y. Now the letter is changed. It still means the same thing. A number that we want to know but don't know yet. So that y is our unknown number. Let's figure out what this y really means. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. 4 5s. We can also skip count by 5s. Probably easier than we can skip count by 4s. So let's try it. 5, 10, 15, 20. So this y means 20. So these are just two examples of how we can use a letter to represent an unknown number and then find out what that letter actually equals. Now, let's put this all together into a word problem that we're going to practice with our read, draw, and write strategy. Let's go. Okay, we're back with our word problem, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to use the read, draw, and write strategy. So we're going to read the problem, draw a picture, and write our answer. And if you guys pay attention here, you will also have an answer to one of the Google Form problems because I'm going to use this as one of the answers in your Google Form. So make sure you're paying attention and make sure you're drawing the picture along with me. So first thing we're going to do is read it. Mr. Cullen needs 91 carpet squares. He has 49 carpet squares. He already has 49. If the squares are sold in boxes of 6, how many more boxes of carpet squares does Mr. Cullen need to buy? So as usual in our word problem, we're going to circle the important numbers. So we know he needs 91. He already has 49. And the squares are sold in boxes of 6. Boxes of 6, okay. I'm just going to draw a quick picture. 1 box equals 6. That's going to help us out. And we're going to underline our question. How many more boxes of carpet squares does Mr. Cullen need to buy? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how much he has, or how much he needs, okay? And then we're going to look at how much he has. And we're going to find the difference between what he has now and what he eventually needs. And the way that we find the difference is we're going to use subtraction. So the first thing, before we start counting boxes and all that, and drawing pictures, we're actually just going to quickly do a subtraction problem to figure out how many more he needs. So we're going to go 91 minus 49. We're going to find out what that equals. Okay, we always start in the ones place when we subtract. So our first thing here is 1 minus 9. Can we do that? No, you can't take away 9 from 1. It doesn't work. So we're going to have to borrow from next door, turn the 9 into an 8. We're going to turn the 1 now into an 11. Now we have 11 minus 9. So 11 minus 9 is 2. And then we move on to 10th place. Now we have 8 minus 4 is 42. All right, so he needs 42 more squares. Now we can start drawing some pictures. So he needs 42 more squares. So I'm going to put that on the top of my tape diagram. And then I'm going to start drawing boxes to represent how many boxes he's going to need to get the 42 more than he needs. Okay, so let's start counting. 1 box is going to get us 6. 42 is way more than 6, so we got to keep adding. Going to add another box, another 6, and another 6, and another 6. Okay, you're going to add as many 6s as you need to get to 42. So you're going to try to run this addition problem in your head. So in the beginning, it's 6 plus 6. We know that equals 12. And then we have another 6 plus 6 over here. We know that equals 12. So far we have 12 plus 12, which is 24. So we know we need to keep adding 6s. And now my tape diagram is a little messy now because the top is supposed to be the same size as the bottom, so I'm going to have to do a little erasing. I'll just keep adding boxes. I'm going to add another box on this side too. Another box of 6. So now we have 6 plus 12 plus 12. And we want all these bottom boxes to equal 42. We got 6 over here. I'm going to add up another pair of 6, which is 12. So now we've got 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 6. Let's see if these equal what we need to yet. Let's just check, because we don't want to put too many boxes down. 12 plus 12. We add 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So 12 plus 12 equals 24. And then we have 6 plus 12. I'm going to start at 12 and count on. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 12 plus 24 equals 18. Now let's see if 18 plus 24 gives us the 42 that we need. And I'm running out of room a little bit, so I'm going to zoom out and just keep on trucking. All right. So 18 plus 24. Now I'm going to start lining it up top to bottom because I don't want to make a mistake. And this is the safest way to do math, top to bottom. So 8 plus 4, I'm going to start at 8 and count on 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we're going to put a 2 down there. Carry the 1 to the next place over. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus another 2 is, check that out, 42. So this tape diagram makes sense. Now it doesn't say how many more carpet squares does he need. It says how many more boxes. So now we count all these boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he needs 7 boxes. So we've drawn our picture. And now we're going to type out our answer. We always have to label our answer. So how many more boxes? We're going to say he needs, when we counted the boxes themselves, we needed 7 more boxes. Okay, he needs 7 more boxes. It's a tricky 2-step problem, but when you break it down and you read, you draw, and you write, it makes a lot more sense. So go try a couple of problems on your Google form. If you're having issues with this and it's hard, ask an adult, ask a teacher, and make sure to draw pictures and take your time. These problems are not designed for you to be able to do in your head, so make sure you use that paper or your whiteboard that you're using to show your work, and it will be so much easier to get the right answer. Okay? It's been a pleasure working with you guys today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow for some more word problem practice. Have an awesome day, you guys.